Introducing the Outcomes Accelerator's third cohort. What if we address the key barriers impeding outcomes-based financing from becoming mainstream, and catalyze the market's capacity to translate learning into replication and scaling of impact? This is the goal of the Outcomes Accelerator, a public-private, global initiative created to drive more effective testing, scaling, and mainstreaming of outcomes-based financing approaches to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. With catalytic funding, expert guidance, hands-on mentoring, and networking connections, the Accelerator helps clear the path for high-potential projects to move from concept to reality. The Outcomes Accelerator's third call for proposals was the largest and most competitive round to date, receiving over 500 expressions of interest from governments, development agencies, the private sector, and local organizations. Following a competitive selection process with applicants from 90 countries, the Governing Committee and Secretariat are thrilled to present the initiatives that are joining us this year. This cohort includes projects with a high level of commitment from government and outcome funder partners. There's also a clear trend in this cohort towards strengthening local ecosystems, empowering local actors, and fostering long-term sustainability. The current portfolio of projects is diverse and reflects a balance of approaches from earlier stage innovation to scaling up proven solutions, across both urban and rural settings. The third cohort will support vulnerable populations with critical services such as primary education, skills training, housing, and job placement. It will also offer innovative solutions in areas critical for climate action and environmental sustainability, such as human-wildlife conflict, agroforestry, and sustainable water access. And now for the exciting moment. Let's meet the 10 projects of the third cohort of the Outcomes Accelerator. Let's start with projects in support of youth empowerment and employment. The Presidency of the Republic of South Africa is scaling up the Jobs Boost Outcomes Fund, placing excluded youth in sustainable and quality jobs. The fund is joined by strategic national partners like the Department of Higher Education and the National Skills Fund. The municipality of eThekwini in South Africa will receive support for launching the Homelessness to Decent Work outcomes-based contract in South Africa. Managed by City People, the project will focus on reducing Durban's homeless population of 16,000 by empowering vulnerable, high-potential homeless youth to transition into decent work, economic productivity, and independent living. Next, we introduce the projects in support of livelihoods, gender, and inequality. The Refugee Investment Network and Village Enterprise, in partnership with the Kenyan government, are establishing a $20 million outcomes fund for refugee employment, addressing the pressing challenge of refugee youth unemployment by creating livelihood opportunities for 20,000 refugees and host community members. The International Rescue Committee aims to mobilize $20 million for an outcomes bond to reduce gender-based violence in over 19,000 families in crisis settings, based on IRC's evidence-backed Safe at Home program. Moving on to education and skills development. In India, Dalberg Development Advisors is supporting local municipalities through a holistic learning social impact bond. This groundbreaking, highly localized initiative aims to bring 21st century skills outcomes to local education districts with the Sangoli Miraj Kapvad City Municipal Corporation as its first outcomes payer. In Kenya, Healthy Brains Global Initiative is working on incentivizing investment in Kenya's left-behind young mothers. The project will catalyze philanthropic, private, and public resources to bring 30,000 highly vulnerable adolescent mothers to complete their studies and build a brighter future. Now let's focus on climate, nature, and environmental sustainability. The Zoological Society of London is focusing on human-wildlife coexistence in Kenya and Thailand with an outcomes bond that will pay for results focused on reducing human-wildlife conflict, improving resilience for communities, and enhancing conservation efforts for elephants and other keystone species. The Land Banking Group will utilize natural capital outcomes contracts to support agroforestry systems on 40,000 hectares of land in Para, Brazil. By engaging with food and beverage companies, this initiative promotes the integration of sustainable agroforestry practices into global supply chains. Tap Effect is working on scaling sustainable water access in rural Cambodia, integrating OBF and viability gap financing for rural water systems. The project targets 60,000 Cambodian households, particularly in underserved areas with high poverty rates, low population density, and water scarcity. Finally, Vrudi aims to implement a social success note for promoting multi-layer natural farming in India. This innovative project integrates ecological conservation with agricultural productivity, creating sustainable livelihoods for farmers. Congratulations to the third cohort of the Outcomes Accelerator. We all look forward to watching your progress in the year ahead. Visit outcomesaccelerator.org to learn more.